Hello and welcome to this screencast on how to configure and install the CKEditor module. I have here a vanilla Drupal installation with just the admin menu enabled to make it easy to access sections and configure the modules. First thing we will do, we'll go to drupal.org to download the CKEditor module from the module page. I will download the latest version from here. After that, you need to download the CKEditor from the CKEditor page. You can use either the zip or the tar file, it doesn't make a difference. After you download the CKEditor, you will extract first the CKEditor module archive inside the site's all modules directory. After that, you will copy the CKEditor directory inside the module directory and extract it here so that all the subdirectories inside the archive are listed inside the CKEditor subdirectory. So your path looks like that: sites all modules, CKEditor, and the CKEditor you downloaded is listed inside the subdirectory. After that, we'll go to our site building modules list. I will enable the CKEditor from here. Now we have the CKEditor installed on our site. In order to enable our users to use the CKEditor, we have to set the access CKEditor permission. I will go to user management permissions and set the access CKEditor permission for our authenticated users. Save permissions. After that, you need to configure the CKEditor configurations. You go to Site Configuration, CKEditor. You will configure one of these profiles to be used for your user roles. I choose the Advanced profile. Click Edit. You will see here the basic setup, profile name, and you select here the roles allowed to use this profile. I only have one role, authenticated users, but if you have many roles, they will be listed here. You select the roles you need to allow the CKEditor for. After that, you need to configure the security filters. You have the HTML filter here enabled, which is fine. Under the visibility settings, you include the fields, field names, and paths you need to enable or disable the CKEditor under. I will leave that as the default, it's fine. The editor appearance, you have here the toolbar. You have several setups for the toolbar. I prefer Drupal full because it provides all the tools I need. After that, we go to the cleanup and output section. You here format the HTML that is outputted while you use the CKEditor. For example, when you press enter, you can configure the CKEditor to output a paragraph tag, a break tag, or a def tag. Same thing for shift plus enter. You can set up here the font formats, format tags. I'll leave that as the default. Under the CSS, you can configure the editor to use the theme CSS. I prefer to use the CKEditor default, it's more stable. The predefined styles, I prefer to use also the CKEditor default. Under the file browser settings, you set up here the file browser you would like to use. For example, if you install the CK Finder file browser, you can enable it here. I won't use a file browser in this demo, so I won't install it. After that, you click Save. The CKEditor outputs several HTML tags, which may not be available in the default filtered HTML format. that Drupal enables by default for all users. For example, site configuration, input formats list. You'll find here that these are the input formats. The default input format is the filtered HTML. The filtered HTML, if you click configure, configure again, you'll find here that the allowed HTML tags, these are some HTML tags that are allowed to be used or to be outputted when using the filtered HTML format. The CKEditor needs more HTML tags than these. So either you insert the HTML tags that is needed by CKEditor inside the allowed HTML tags in the filtered HTML and save, or you could use, which is the method I prefer, you could enable the full HTML input format for all roles. This is, of course, has its risks. Do not do that when your users input a lot of content. I always do that when I am the only editor, or the editors of my site are people I trust, not to insert scripts and such things inside the body of my nodes. But if you are unsure about that, you can enable the filtered HTML format and insert the text. I will use the full HTML, set default format. After that, when you try to create content, for example a page, you'll find that the CKEditor is fully enabled and functioning like that here. I will make an example of how cool this editor is by going, for example, to any page. Let's say support. Let's try to copy this text, for example. And paste it here. You see that the text is pasted with the same formatting, images and everything, took right from the original HTML without needing to do any special formatting on our part. This editor is a very great editor. You will enjoy using it on your sites. I hope you've enjoyed this screencast and stay tuned for more to come.